guys, Nick Bosco here, and today I'm talking with Adrian Yanez, and we're going to be talking about his fight coming up, his training, and everything else that's going on. So, Adrian, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, man. I'm really excited. I actually can't wait to get to Vegas so I can fight already.
So, how is your training going, like at this point in your training camp?
It's been going great. I've just can't but everything everything's been trending right, if that makes sense. Like heart rates at a good spot. I feel the gains from all my training sessions, so everything's looking really positive right now.
And where are you doing your training right now?
Right now, I'm back in Houston. I did go up for a stint to go train with Aljo for about a week, uh, but yeah, no, I'm back in Houston doing my camp back at my home base.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because I saw like some pictures on, I think, on your Instagram that you were training with like Matt Serra and Aljamain Sterling and all them. And I was wondering if you were in Long Island because I'm in New York, so I was like, oh, that's so cool if you're there.
Yeah, no, it was a fun, great experience just being around a lot of high level people with a similar mindset that you have. That like it's so cool. It was really cool just to be around that because like you to reach the pinnacle. Like Aljo's at the pinnacle of is the pinnacle at the bantamweight division. He has the belt, so you want to surround yourself with something like that. And you're so close to it that you're just like, man, like I'm not that far off. Just being able to like just see it's just little mistakes that cost people big, and just being able to address that at an earlier spot. So to me, it was a really great experience going out there and training with Aljo, because man, it was like there was a lot of eye openings, and then there was also like a lot of like, man, I can do this. Like I really can do this. Like holy crap, I'm this close. So it's cool. It was great just being up there too, because man, everybody there was so nice. It was like I had this expectation of like New York being everybody being jerks and like get out the road, this type of stuff. But it was, man, as soon as I got there, it was like pretty much like a home away from home. So I felt great there. Like honestly, I definitely do plan on going back. Definitely do plan on going back to New York.
Yeah, I mean we get a bad rap sometimes, but especially when you're coming the fall, I'm sure it like looked beautiful, the leaves turning colors and everything. And did you get to go like apple picking or anything? That's like our thing to do in the fall.
Oh no, I was only really there to train. So like during the week, I really didn't do anything else but train. Like I was just pretty much in the gym the whole entire time. Like I was a little bit bummed out because I wanted to. Actually, he messaged me, Rico Rodriguez. He actually messaged me, being like, "Dude, you were in New York and you hit me up," and I was like, "Bro, I had no time. Like I was with Aljo, man. I'm sorry, man." So it was like I was like a little bit bummed I wasn't really able to go out and do too much, but at the same time I was like super excited just to be around the environment of Ray Longo and the Law MMA guys, and then also Sarah BJJ and all them. Like it was a great environment, and I loved it. It was fun. I was genuinely super excited every single training session, just because like there was always that little thing that they were like, hey, like throw this on top of that. I'm like, all right, and it was cool. It was really fun.
Well, next time you have to give yourself some more time for fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
When you guys were training together, is that when like the picture was taken that everybody like lost their mind over, like you and Eljo sparring together?
Oh yeah, and that was like the last sparring session that we had. We only sparred MMA like twice, and no, it's like honestly, I feel like that picture was definitely way blown out of proportion. Because man, that wasn't like I have video of that sparring session. So I look back at that and I was like, that picture where the picture where the punch was like they took the picture of the punch, that was like super out of context, super out of context, because like the positioning and everything, like he had just got done throwing a kick and I checked the kick and I came back with the punch, but that punch, there was like nothing on it. It was just like a little, it was like an arm punch, but it just looks like I'm pushing his, like it looks like I'm punching him really really hard, because his feet are kind of off the ground and everything. But if you just really look, my feet aren't really set. They're really not set on the ground. Like I'm in an awkward like stance of like throwing the punch. He's leaning back, but it's because he was throwing a kick. I checked the kick and I threw the punch. I was throwing the punch right after that when he was bringing his foot back, and that's the only reason why it looks bad. Like I don't this. That's the only reason why it looks bad. And it was just a perfectly timed picture because whenever those big gloves, the big puffier MMA gloves, you touch, like you get the touch, and any push on the face is you're gonna notice it whenever like you're getting pushed on the face. So it's like it wasn't it definitely was not like as hard as everybody was thinking, like, oh, he's knocking him out, Adrian's kicking Aljo's ass. No, that definitely was not the case. Like, so like I didn't want any false narratives being thrown out there because, man, like Aljo brought me out because at the time whenever I was supposed to be brought out, it was to give him looks from a boxer, looks from a boxer, especially like someone like Jan, who's really primarily boxing based, but he does have kicks, he does have this other stuff. But seeing someone like that's sort of similar to his style, like myself, he just wanted the looks, and this was before he had pulled out. But luckily for myself, I was talking to Aljo, and yeah, no, like we're still good to go. You're still good to come and train and all that stuff. So it's the UFC doctors pretty much didn't clear him to fight, but he's like he felt healthy at the time, but doctors couldn't clear him. But yeah, no, it was just that like that picture got blown way out of proportion, you know.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because everybody, I mean, I think everybody picks on him a little bit too much to begin with and then just like give them fuel for their fire, basically. But yeah.
Yeah, and especially like I really felt the backlash a little bit. Like I didn't get it as bad because I had like the majority of a lot of MMA like fans, they genuinely like me. Like they like a lot of like people on Twitter, Instagram, and all that stuff. Like they like I only saw like a very minimum drop off, like probably less than 1%. But I could see it. Like I could see the hate that Aljo is getting just off of like my post or like one of his training partners' posts or anything like that. Like, man, like Aljo gets it rough. Like he gets it really, really bad. And I was looking, I was like, man, I'm in tagged in one of Aljo's posts, and all of a sudden I look down on social media. I'm like, damn, like they are really going at him. Like it's like I'm just like, bro, like yeah, like mental health. Like he has a strong head because man, that dude, it gets bad.
Yeah, I bet. But let's talk about your next bout. You have Davey Grant coming up. Had that like come about? Did you ask for him specifically, or was it just something that was offered to you?
I called that for that fight a while back ago. Just because it was like Twitter wanted that fight. But Twitter ended up making the Randy Costa fight instead. So this one, honestly, it was I didn't know where I was at, especially after the Randy Costa fight, and then just kind of just seeing because I wanted to compete two more times before 2021 ended, but things didn't plan out the way they did. But I got the Davey Grant fight, and that one just came up out of nowhere. I just remember just getting a call from my manager and being like, "Hey, what do you think about Davey Grant?" And I was like, "I think Davey Grant's perfect." It was like it'll top off my year because, man, he's a veteran. He's a veteran, and he's the hard nosed guy that fights to the very end. He doesn't care who you are. He's gonna sling hard fists at your face, and he's gonna try to knock you out with every single one. And then on top of that, he has great grappling. So with all that being said, he was on the Ultimate Fighter. He had 3 straight knockouts before he lost to Chito Vera, but that fight with Chito Vera, I wouldn't consider him to even be like out the fight, if that makes sense. He wouldn't have been out the fight. He made it competitive even though he was losing. And man, that's a tough thing to do against someone like Chito Vera. So that fight kind of really excited me, really got me up and going. I was like, man, I really it was a really great fight, and I would like have the absolute honor to fight Davey Grant.
Nice. I mean, your last fight with Costa was like more of like a friendly kind of like fooling around type thing. Is it going to be like the same, or is there like animosity between you guys, or do you plan on there being?
Oh no, I don't plan on there ever being any animosity anytime I fight. Because at the end of the day, if they talk shit, talk mess, or do anything like that, I'm just like, at the end of the day, we're gonna have to go into the cage and fight it out anyways. So to me, I'm just like, whatever, hey, like talk if you want. If that what gets you up and gets you going for the fight, you're more than welcome to do that. Just know that whenever I punch your lights out, like you wake up, you're gonna be seeing me looking at you like hey. But you know, like no animosity, no animosity for me ever, because I'm just like we're gonna fight anyway, so there's no point. And I punch people I really like, and I punch people I like in the face a lot, and when we spar, so like, hey, it's fun. Like I punched Aljo in the face, and I really like that guy. so so uh so yeah, I have no problem doing that. It's fun, and if it's respect, it's respect. If there's any like animosity, it's just probably gonna come from the other side. But I don't see Davey being that, because from what I hear, he's a really nice guy, and I think it'd be pretty cool just to even just step in the cage with him.
Now that you're like on a 7 fight win streak, how do you see the next year or two going in your career? Do you like plan that far ahead, or do you have any plans for the next couple years?
As of right now, I'm pretty much just focused on this fight. But depending on how this fight goes, I do want to take like about 3 months, 3 to 5 months, just to like kind of just settle down a little bit. Because there's a lot of big things in life that are happening and everything. And then also another big one, like my coach had passed away back in August. So it's like uh I'm still kind of in this rough spot where I'm like, I'm trying to make sure everything's settled down before I want to make my next move after this fight. So, like, cause I'm taking the role of being a coach to a lot of these fighters, these up and coming fighters, and still having to train and be a fighter myself. So, after this fight, I'm definitely gonna take some time and just sit back and just realize what we need and what we need to do. But uh, what was weird is that my coach is already gearing up for like me to take over that spot. Anyways, it was weird because he for these last couple months before he had passed, like he was like having me and my other training partner Cameron like he wouldn't even come and bother us. He would pretty much be like, "Y'all know what I want." Like in the morning sessions were a little bit different, but the afternoon sessions, all that stuff, like we knew what we had to do on the night session. So he pretty much had us running that like our program already. But he would throw in a little thing here and there just so we would know what else we would need to do. But yeah, yeah. So after this fight, just take a couple months off. But a year or two span, I do want to be in the top 15. Top 15 is one of those things that I'm really priding myself off. Like I believe I can hit the top 15 within the next year. Uh, but I just need to make sure that I'm good first for that. And then once I hit that top 15, there's no going back. I have to fight nothing but killers every single time. And once you get in that top five, like it's the top five. Like you're right there at the belt. So I had to make sure I'm on my P's and Q's and make sure that everything that I need to do it to 100%. So that's what I'm really focused on. And then once I get to that position, that's whenever I'm gonna sit down and I'm really gonna gun for the belt.
I wanted to ask you a little bit about the rankings. How difficult is it for somebody like in your position to even get to the top 15 when like guys who are there sometimes don't want to fight unranked guys, and it's like you kind of have to be like a household name kind of to like jump up or jump into a last minute fight that seems like the only ways to get in there. Is that true, or how difficult do you think it is to get there?
It can be really really difficult, but at the same time, uh, some of these fights that where a lot of these guys don't take unranked opponents. Uh, I don't know how to explain. So yeah, a lot of these ranked guys don't take these unranked guys because they don't want to lose their position, and it does suck for us guys who are unranked trying to get into the top 15. But also, I'm up to the belief of like, man, like if I just go in there and knock everybody out, it's gonna be inevitable for me to be in the top 15 anyways. I'm gonna take that spot whether they like it or not. Once I get to that 15 position, I'm taking it. Whether like I don't care who you are, like I don't care who you are, I'm taking that 15 position, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, all the way up to number one. So it doesn't even have to be like, hey, like I'm fighting that ranked guy. It's like I can fight ranked number 16 and I'm ranked number 18 and I knock that guy out in spectacular fashion. That's gonna bump 15 out. there's gonna bump number 15 right out, because if that person is coming off a loss and I'm coming off of, like, let's just say I'm on this roll that I am right now, coming back with two, I knock out Davey Grant, then I knock out somebody else who's a little bit higher than Davey Grant. Number 15 should be mine. It shouldn't be anybody else's, unless somebody else is having like a streak that I'm having. So yeah, like if there's people coming off of losses and I'm coming off of straight knockouts and everything, I should be ranked. But uh, you know, I don't know. I know the rankings are I don't really understand who puts the rankings together. But I'm pretty sure it'd be inevitable for me to be there anyways.
Do you feel like you have like more added confidence now coming up out of your last fight where you had to like kind of battle back after the first round?
Yes and no. Yes, as in like, and like, yeah, like I get to show everybody, like I was able to dig deep. But I never wanted to show that I could dig deep. I always wanted to keep that a little secret. Like I always tell people all the time, it's like the more secrets you have, the better it is, because they'll find out. And whenever you already know that you have it, because I've been knowing that I could dig deep. I always knew what's inside of me is like, I always knew I could dig deep. I was telling my strength and conditioning coach just this other day, like we're doing this drill, and he was pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. I just remember just looking up and I was like, "You gotta do more than that to break me, coach. You gotta do more than that to break me." And I had him tired at the end of this, and he was the fresh guy. He was like, he wasn't doing anything. He was tired, but yeah, I always knew I had it, but no, it just never, like, I never wanted to show it. But yeah, it does give me the confidence, but also again, like, now they know, and that's gonna be like, okay, well, now I know I can't, like, so a lot of these guys are gonna know that they can't go grit for grit with me, because I'm gonna come out in the end. So it just makes it a little bit more of a technical fight instead of having to be down and gritty, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. That's all the questions I had for you. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today.
And thank you so much. You have a good one.